On this episode of The Bender Hour. Why does my left arm hurt so much?
Elvis, are you having a heart attack and a stroke, you fat fuck?
Listen, it's gambling. I can
play the casino. I can play the casino. I can win. Oh, Mr. Presley, it's a great honor to have you visit.
Shut up! Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up!
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna kill myself.
He said it was like cordyceps. I just immediately imagined Elvis with pulsating,
Eating,
glowing
like,
eyes.
Like walking around fucking like Memphis.
Seen any birds around here lately? Alright, I'm gonna do the clap.
Until we run into the G-horse.
I'm gonna do the clap.
It's like that coffee horse. I almost forgot about the horny horse.
Fucking horny horse. Alright, I'm gonna do the clap.
It's okay.
3, 2, 1. So, I'd like to start this episode by, I think I need to correct the record here over a previous mistake. 2 episodes ago, we talked about the feeder and eater community. And I made some mistakes, and after much backlash, I feel the need to correct myself here. I wouldn't bring this up if I didn't think it was funnier than what we said. So the feeder name for the people who supply shit was correct, but the people who actually get fat, they aren't called eaters. They're referred to as gainers.
Oh my god. So that's what Gainer Bowl is from. I'm like, really not helping my case, but just like blurting that out to the world.
I kind of forgot about Gainer Bowl's existence, so I'm not gonna lie.
And just like someone else on the sidelines, like definitely if you had like the disgusting Avengers, like a Gainer Bowl is gonna be like right next to like King Assripper.
Didn't he die? Gainer Bowl?
I have no idea. I know nothing about him outside of like the 2 pictures I've seen. Just like I just know his name and his likeness. That is it. If he's dead, then it's hard to believe he's really dead. It's just that's gonna be the whole running joke. Is that like these disgusting fucks just like live way longer than they're due.
Than they're supposed to.
Yeah,
than they
it's
have
like when
any right to.
It's like when one actually dies, that's definitely sending like the fucking like Yoda like he's definitely feeling like the Force throughout the entire Gainer, or I'm just gonna call him the Eater community because that's just like hysterical. Eater.
Dropping the fucking cane.
Drop it. Fucking it's King Assripper like dropping the Twinkie. Like,
dropping the mayonnaise covered Twinkie.
Right on his belly. Oh man. I feel like a billion fat fucking souls just cried out.
I feel like a million arteries just got clogged.
Million one.
Fucking instant necrosis of the heart.
Can you imagine that? Like he like his body starts undergoing necrosis at like a pace that you could see with the naked eye. And he just like looks at the end of his hand and sees like the blackness like creeping.
Fingers turning black.
Yeah, like his fingers like melting and reduced to bone. Like, oh no, as it's like creeping up his arm, up his shoulder. Eventually, you know, it just finally cuts to him in a hospital bed. He's completely limbless, and he has those black like suction medical devices that they put onto like necrosis victims to try to seal up their skin, like what's left of it that's not dead. Like, I don't have long for this world.
Jesus Christ, there's nothing left.
They turn him into RoboCop. They're taking the pieces off of him. He's like worse off than like the actual fucking like 2014 RoboCop.
Yeah.
Oh Christ! Ho ho ho! There's nothing left. Like even better, like as they keep taking the robotic parts off of him, they reveal that he's like skinny now, and that's the fucking crisis.
What do you think Robo-Assripper's, like, what would be his purpose? What would be his abilities? What would he do?
Okay, so we'd have to think about it like this. So like the original RoboCop, like his whole shtick was that obviously he's got to be a cop, but his secret hidden directive was that he was supposed to like help the corrupt fucking like corporate like dickhead who made him, basically. Like you can't arrest the fucking higher ups, so they get to do all the corrupt shit they want. So if you're gonna take King Assripper and turn him into a robo-ass or whatever, like who is he gonna like be protecting?
I have no fucking idea. King Assripper clearly is a man who only works for himself. And his like Patreon supporters, or wherever he like gets his money from. Because there are people who pay for his content.
Who would benefit the most from like King Assripper under their payroll? That honestly might even be a tougher question.
Yeah.
Because like, you know, maybe like someone who's not thinking would say like, oh well, you know, he's like like maybe like the people that make fucking like Twinkies, and like maybe it's like a food product placement thing, but there's no way anyone on earth could like look at him eating those foods and think like, I want to buy
do
it, like,
that.
eat a Twinkie now.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna lose your lunch.
The only people that benefit are like the fetishists, that once again, like the people who pay for his content.
So who's he gonna be protecting? That's gonna like make the whole thing ironic. Just like complete Puritans. Is he like, was he built by fucking like the Amish?
Complete Puritans who want to use him to show the degeneracy of modern society. They want to use him as like a scapegoat.
He was constructed by like Mennonites. There's something like Mr. Ripper, there's something we have to show you. Start taking off the pieces as he's completely skinny now. Oh my holy Christ. Holy Christ.
There's nothing left.
It's like, you say I have a choice? Unplug me. Kill me. The doctor's gotta lean in and say like, it's like, what do we say to your roommate? Say the procedure failed and I didn't make it. It's like crying. Ooh.
I'll be like a weight off his roommate's shoulders.
The hypothetical King Assripper roommate.
A roommate that we can't prove exists. I do lean into the camp, though, that he doesn't actually have a roommate, because I don't know who could actually live with him.
Yeah, like, someone would have had to have, like, stepped forward by now. Like, there had to, like, have been, like, a fucking Snowden whistleblower.
Like an AMA threat or something.
Yeah, like, I lived with King Assripper, AMA. Till, you know, finds out he's under, like, strict gag order by the fucking, like, King Assripper complex to not talk about his time.
He signed an NDA when he moved in with him. Do you roommate with anyone who would require you to sign an NDA to live with them?
I don't know.
That'd be so fucking sketchy.
Okay. Let's put it this way. Okay, you have to sign an NDA to not say anything about your time living as a roommate with King Assripper. However, the one provision is that like the house is set up in such a way that you will never have to actually come into physical contact with him. You will always hear him when he does all this shit, but he will never actually enter like your side of the apartment, and you have like a way that you can like exit the building without ever seeing him. Would you live in that place if it was like a really good like rent or like fucking like just like fucking whatever?
Like, when I'm not there, he's gonna be farting on my shit.
Well, he's not gonna come into your room. The most he's gonna do is fart on your door. It's just that anytime you're in there and he does his shit, you better have to put on headphones or something, because you're gonna hear every fart, you're gonna hear every moan and every noise he makes.
And the rest of the apartment is gonna smell like shit all the time.
Well, you better not ever open that door.
I'm gonna have to leave eventually. Unless I, like, climb out the fucking window.
No, like I said, like, there's a door. Like, think of it like these are two completely separate rooms that have access to the outside. And they're separated by one door that he'll never open. He'll never enter your side of the house.
What about the shared areas, like the kitchen, living room?
Like, you think, for all intents and purposes, you both have separate houses that are connected. Like, completely separate apartments that are connected via one door.
So it's like a hotel room type of deal?
Yeah, kind of. But you gotta hear all that. And to make it worse, he does it at, like, odd hours.
He also seems like the type of person who'd be doing it constantly.
Would you do that if it was, like, something insane, like $100, like, rent?
It really depends on what the rest of the area looks like. Like how high of a standard is this apartment?
I mean, the apartment's definitely like, I would say it's like average shit. It's nothing like super fancy. It's nothing like crummy.
You're not living. Justify it.
That is just think about the rent though. And also, will you not say it's like not free entertainment? Because the whole thing is that you're already in on the joke about King Assripper. If you heard that, you'd have a smile on your face every day. You'd be like laughing your ass off.
That laugh is gonna turn into a pale shriek once I hear the door handle start to like jiggle.
Yeah, like you're sitting in your room and you're like, oh, it's time for me to smash another giant tub of mayonnaise while I fart my asshole out. And then you just hear him go, wait a minute. And you like pitter-pattering up to your door, and he jostles the doorknob as hard as possible because like you locked it. Let me in.
It'd be fucking horrifying.
Like all of it, suddenly you hear him start ripping ass, and you just see like the green gas seep up from under the fucking like the door. Like it's like that scene in oh god, what fucking prequel was it? Where like was it Anakin and Obi-Wan where they're like in the Trade Confederation ship and they enter that one room that gets like gassed and all like the yellow gas starts seeping in?
No, that's episode 1. That's Qui-Gon Jinn.
That's okay. That's Qui-Gon. All right, I completely forgotten.
Yeah, because remember that's when he tried. That's when Obi-Wan tries to drink his gin.
Yeah.
Do not touch that again, or I will kill you.
I will kill you. Be wary. Titan, be wary. King Assripper will kill you. That's what I'm imagining. Like he tries to gas you out. So if like you didn't install one of those like little like wind stoppers that you can put underneath a door, like you're pretty much fucked.
Stuff the cracks with towels and shit.
Oh, I'm gonna stuff my crack. He puts a totally rolled up like newspaper in his ass and just starts building up pressure.
And then again, you also run the risk of like, you get up to go and leave your apartment. You open the door and he's like standing at your front door.
What would he want?
I don't know. I just ran out of mayonnaise. You got any tubs lying around? Oh.
You know, I mean, would you say no to him?
Probably. I'm not a big fan of mayo.
Now, would you say that to him? What?
The second he said to it, his smile turns into a frown. Big vein starts throbbing on his forehead.
His head is like vibrating in anger. He's biting his lip. Blood is coming down.
His hair is
lip.
falling out.
One big fat throbbing vein on his forehead that's like pulsating, and you could hear it like a heartbeat.
It's like glowing.
And then finally, he bends down and grabs both of his ankles and starts screaming. And you look out the back, and there's a femur coming out of his ass crack. And you realize he's shitting out his entire skeletal system. And he looks up one last time, like mouth covered in blood, tears streaming down his eyes. Help me!
Can he do in that situation other than just put him out of his misery?
They kick him down the steps. It's not that he like sealed his fate, and now he wants your help.
I guess that's one way to circumvent the roommate issue.
But that's also what starts his dark track, is becoming like RoboCop. Where they put him back together, give him like cybernetic bones. He becomes a complete fucking invertebrate. You know, maybe that would be like an even more horrible evolution of him. Where instead of becoming RoboCop, he like evolves into like a massive terrestrial flatworm. And he just like hooks onto things like a parasite. But he still like rips ass. He'll like bite into you, and he'll siphon the food out of you and convert it into gas. Then like he'll like shrivel up and die and like let his spores out in the wind.
It's like Shin Godzilla. You used to just be one of them, now there's like hundreds everywhere.
Yep. Final scene of Shin Godzilla where like it pans up like his tail, and then like that one last second frame where like the tail piece like breaks off and just like King Assripper's face. And then it cuts like the Star Wars like credit music.
Gotta eat this entire Gojira carcass. Can't forget the extra mayo. Gonna smash this fucking carcass.
Nasty. What do you think Godzilla would taste like? Like specifically Shin Godzilla.
Not very good. Especially when you're talking Shin Godzilla, because this whole design is basically like a giant fucking lump of cancer cells. I can't imagine that would taste too good. And since he's birthed a fucking radioactive material, you're probably gonna die if you try to eat it.
Yeah, that also reminds me, I'm sure you've seen like videos, or like maybe at least you've like heard of them, where it'll be like a surgery video where someone removes some like impossibly large like round tumor from someone's like face.
Like a fucking goiter or something like that.
Yeah. What do you think those taste like?
They're usually filled with pus, so...
Well, I mean, I know you're a fan of jelly donuts.
Did you ever fucking spread that misconception again? Remember the last time you put a jelly donut in my face? Remember what happened?
I remember. That was like one of the funniest things of like 2017. I don't think that's like is that a story we could get into? I guess we could work around it.
I guess so.
Like, without saying like any other shit. Like, basically, we were on a bus together. It was a field trip, and it was that was a coach bus, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They have the TVs up, and they're showing some kind of it was like a movie.
It was like a civil rights movie.
Yeah, it was a civil rights movie. So that's playing. We have a box of Munchkins.
Getting passed around the entire bus.
You get passed around the bus. And there's only a couple left. And...
It's like the second pass around. And the thing is pretty much empty.
How did it even go? Like, you saw the jelly donut. Like, the jelly donut one. Like, the jelly-filled Munchkin. Like, you didn't want it. But
and you didn't want it either. So first we passed it to our friends in the aisle next to us. And they went through it. And then they passed it back to us with the jelly donuts still inside.
So what did I do? I like took it out and like put it in your face.
Yeah. Trying to get me to fucking eat it. And instead, disaster struck.
Peyton slaps the jelly donut Munchkin out of my hand. A fairly like loud racket because it definitely hit the chair in front of it with like a decent thud, and at the exact moment that Munchkin made contact with the ground, the movie was at a part where I believe a black church was bombed by like anti-civil right like activists. So this massive explosion goes off at the moment of impact when the Munchkin hit the floor, and that like shock made us both start laughing our asses off. So now you got these two kids in the back laughing their asses off.
The whole bus is still fucking dead silent because it's like 4 a.m.
The bus is dead silent, and now two of us are laughing, and like most people are thinking that like they're laughing at the scene where all these people were killed in a church bombing. And you know, since they're all pussies, they're not gonna like. We're gonna like confront us about it. No, like they're all tired out of their minds. Like they don't want to start something. And I bet that fucking jelly donut Munchkins was on the floor of that coach bus for the rest of the whole trip.
Yeah, I never retrieved it. You never retrieved it.
Ugh. No. The funny thing is, I probably would have like eaten it too. It's just like. You like having hated it so much was a funnier prospect than like just going for it. I was like,
I think Elvis would have eaten it off the floor.
Yeah, he would have gobbled it up like a fucking Roomba.
Unger. Unger.
Unger. Are you in that? There's a razor blade in that.
Elvis, we gotta get you to the fucking emergency department.
Elvis, we gotta call 911, get you in the emergency room right now.
I don't get insurance.
I can afford a bill. I can afford a bill.
Just don't pay and let it go to your collections.
My credit score's gonna fucking tank. I'm never gonna survive that financial decision.
Elvis, you're like the richest fucking musician in the world. Where's your fucking insurance?
Oh, it's fucking goddamn Obama. Like his tongue is like sliced in half.
He somehow got the blade under his tongue.
He gets it in his mouth, like he miraculously doesn't cut anything when he bites into it, and he feels the metal and he's like, what's this? Starts swishing it around with his tongue. Oh! Oh! And he swallows it.
Taken of pure panic, he swallows it.
I'm not gonna like that return trip in about 8 hours.
It's not gonna fucking live for 8 hours.
I mean, if you're talking about like an Elvis bowel movement, it's probably gonna be like 24 hours or longer. When the, you'd probably be able to safely pass the razor blade by that point. When it's like the gray goo in his bowels fucking like wraps around it, dissolves it.
Gray goo.
Elvis
was a fucking intergalactic weapon sent down to Earth.
I mean, you know why I always like reference like there being like gray shit in his stomach, right?
Yeah. Well, why don't you repeat the story for the viewer at home?
Or as far as I recall, during the autopsy for Elvis, they found that his fucking like stomach and his constipation was so critical that his colon was pretty much completely filled with a gray like fecal substance. Completely packed. And that was one of the, I mean, aside from all the other shit like drugs, like one of the driving forces behind his death that day.
Oh my
Horrifying
God.
gray goo.
Oh my God. The nanobots inside my body. They're gonna destroy the Earth. I gotta hold it in.
Mr. President, it's been an honor, sir. God damn it, Presley.
Man is an American hero.
I call dibs on his shit-stained undies. I want a nice gray stain right where his pecker was.
I'm never gonna wash these.
I'm gonna wear them. You're fucking gross. You're fucking gross.
He's saying all that shit and Elvis hasn't even died yet.
The CIA already like informed Nixon about like the gray turds.
They already informed him that Elvis was saving the Earth by not unleashing the gray goo from his bowels.
I think the CIA was like preemptively performing secretive X-rays on Elvis when he wasn't looking, which also is like a major contributor to his death. Fucking like gave him like radiation poisoning.
Elvis was like patrolling the grounds of Graceland, found an alien capsule ready to release the gray goo on Earth, so he fucking did the only thing he knew how in that moment and ate it. And it just turned out that his digestive system was strong enough to keep it at bay, but it killed him in the process.
It wasn't him drowning in his own blood from the razor blade. Like, who fucking assassinated Elvis with the razor blade of the jelly donut?
Apparently us, because it was the fucking jelly roll at the bottom of the chair.
So, after like all those years of like faking his death, he was just on board that coach bus with us, ready to like. Well, okay, who's ready to like assassinate us?
This is a real question. Who is that razor blade meant for? I guess it would have had to have been us since we were at the back of the bus. We were gonna be the last ones to get the fucking jelly roll. Other than the fucking Elvis.
Elvis is fucking. There's a fucking razor blade in that donut.
I don't care.
I don't care.
I don't care.
I don't care. I got a jelly donut.
Like spits out like 2 teeth and like a piece of his tongue.
Tongue that's cut clean through.
sees his tongue like very like subtly moving like on the ground and like a little
Like
pool
a
of blood.
squid tentacle that's had like salt
Yeah.
put on it.
Oh, oh, oh! And he's in so much pain. He like takes out his fucking like gilded like handgun, puts up to his chin
Puts
and
up his
shoots.
chin.
But the angle is off, and he shoots right through. It hits like his frontal cortex. He's just screaming in pain.
Can't do anything right.
And now he can't even call for help because his mouth's like filled with blood.
As if he would like have to. As if it wouldn't be completely obvious to everyone around him that he needs medical attention.
I mean, he tries to kill himself and then he calls for help. In that position, do you think, like, assuming an ambulance was like right there, do you think they could save the king?
I don't fucking know. I don't know what medical procedure is for if like a major artery like that is completely fucking cut open.
I mean, if those fish can survive with those ugly ass pill bugs in their tongues, I think I can live with half of mine ripped off and bleeding.
I think they'd be able to
Ugh.
get the razor blade out before like it does too much damage that he's unsavable. But I don't know what they can do about the tongue situation.
With the bullet hole. Because I'm willing to concede that like it didn't like go through his chin and then exit out the top of his head. Like it could have gotten like caught somewhere like in his bones and like cartilage. In which great, like now there's like a fucking piping hot piece of lead in his body burning him. While like his pain receptors are going fucking haywire.
He somehow survives. He's probably gonna lose at least one eye from that. He's probably never gonna smell again.
That's gonna be a tough sell. He's gonna have difficulty tasting.
You'd be lucky if the first thing he does when he gets cleared to leave that hospital isn't like try to finish the job.
He's never gonna enjoy food again.
Yeah, he can't smell or taste anymore because not only is his nose burned out from that bullet, but his tongue is gone.
And he can't sing. It's really over for him. And the Pentagon X-rays like made him infertile. So like, you think you'd try to like
Try
take
to
out
kill
the
himself
president?
again.
or would he try to take someone else down with him?
Who?
Nixon.
The Beatles?
The Beatles.
We're trying to take it away his fame.
He's like, I'll show you bigger than Jesus. And it's like he pulls out like a fucking like grenade wrapped around his shirt.
There's only one king.
Little king. And he like pulls the pin on the grenade. But he's like still holding down on like the trigger. And he's like wondering why it's not going off. Like,
Gives everyone around him more than enough time to clear the area.
He's like, oh, those damn thing's busted. And the second he throws it, it explodes right there in his hand. And then, you know, like, we do not want you to panic, Mr. King. They show him, like, the x-ray of, like, the million bits of fragment in his body.
I'm afraid it's been 9 years.
Get him, NyQuil! No!
It's the best thing got.
Oh.
Get him NyQuil and some liquor now.
I think the part where like Quiet goes up behind the stupid doctor and is choking him out, and like he's trying to like raise the revolver up and shoot her. Like Elvis just reaches forward and grabs the gun out of his hands, like thank you very much, and he like blows his brains out with it. First he shoots the doctor, then he shoots himself. Die, bitch.
Elvis, you can't just go around murdering people on the slightest whim.
Oh, I'm basically God. I'm above the law, baby. But I'm also...
Oh, alright, let's see you're trying to stop me. Who's the one with the gun?
And as I'm also getting pretty hot, I think I gotta...
I'm gonna a bit of a hot flash, so... And there's a big pain growing in my back.
I can't seem to feel half my face right now.
Why does my left arm hurt so much?
Elvis, are you having a heart attack and a stroke, you fat fuck?
Oh my god. Now he's never gonna dance again. Things just can't get much worse for the king.
He still doesn't realize that he lost his right arm completely when the grenade blew up in his hand. Because the doctor never, like, showed it to him.
He never looked. When does he find out?
I have no idea.
Time for a little post-murder jerk-off section.
How's he doing that when he's still, like, having a stroke heart attack combo?
Just because my right ball don't work, don't mean my cock don't work, baby. He's like powering through the heart attack. But he keeps punching himself in the chest like this. To keep himself manually alive. You know, I can just... I can suspend my disbelief and say that he survived a gunshot wound and a handheld grenade. But I don't think Elvis could survive like a heart attack like that. Perchance like killed him in the first place.
Elvis, you need to stop jerking off. We gotta get your medical attention right now. I don't care.
I'm almost there. I'm almost there.
I gotta bust. I gotta bust.
It was kind of bad. Puts the gun back to his chin.
So that's worked so well for him before.
He clicks the fucking trigger. Like, what the hell?
Elvis, I took all the bullets out of your gun so you couldn't fucking kill yourself like a retard.
You motherfucker. I gotta kill myself. I gotta die. Red starts rummaging through his medicine cabinet, just like eating whatever he can.
It's like going under the sink. Like a fucking
like...
baby. He's like under the sink, like drinking everything he can find.
I just ate 12 AAA batteries, drink half of a fucking dish cleaner, and I chew through half of a bar of soap.
And I got this fork, and I'm right next to an electrical outlet. Is he finally down?
I wouldn't count him out. Just like wake up back at the hospital again. Just let me die, Doc.
Another 9 years later.
Can you imagine, like, having to be the
18
doctor?
years.
Can you imagine being the doctor that has to keep massaging Elvis for 9 years to like make sure his body doesn't atrophy, and like once he's released, he comes back and you're the doctor to do it again?
2 weeks later, he comes back comatose for a second time.
Yeah, it's like fucking like Bubba Hotep. Like at some random interval, he like wakes up from his coma for like 5 minutes with like an erection. He's like, tell the doctor, like, oh, you want to just tug on it a little.
Just like a male doctor.
The male doctor like goes down on him. He goes like, whoa, I'm not gay. I didn't tell you to stop though. Damn. I just busted in a gay man's mouth. He just like slumps back into his coma. Or he just has a 9-year-long nightmare. I can't foresee this ending anytime soon. Like he's got more money than like his entire like extended family and their kids would know what to do with.
It's like borderline fucking immortal at this point.
They're keeping him alive just for the shits.
Fucking almost 20 years in a coma at the point where he was already like almost 50.
I can't believe his producer's like still alive. They give him orders and boss him around in his own
Voice
house.
From that video, wasn't his fucking producer?
Who was that voice supposed to be?
Priscilla's lawyer trying to get the fucking alimony payment from him.
Oh, yeah, I guess I was, for whatever reason, I was caught up thinking of like, Elvis, we're trying to record a song here. I was kind of thinking about that voice. But yeah, it was like still Priscilla's lawyer. Like lives with them. Like secret lovers. I ain't paying no alimony. I'm just gonna keep fucking my gay husband. My colon's full of gray duty. I got AIDS. And I probably only got about 9 years left to live. Where's that gun? He's definitely gonna end up like that fucking South American guy who got like shot 9 times in the head and lived. Even at point blank. Like you just can't stop him.
With like permanent like emotional like changes.
With his like frontal lobe or whatever gone, he like doesn't have any like fear anymore. So he's more willing to do like insane shit.
As if that's really gonna make any difference for him.
Yeah, he like didn't
He has
fear
no
anything
fear.
before. I think it also like inhibits your sense of like danger and pain threshold to a degree.
He's gonna be eating more razor blades now.
He doesn't have a tongue to cut off, but I mean, he's still got like a tongue stem. Can you imagine if like Elvis was like talking to you and like he saw like a fucking isopod in his mouth? I got this little bugger. I'm on my diving expeditions for hidden gold.
Searching for Spanish doubloons in the fucking Caribbean.
I didn't find any gold. Got my left big toe bitten off by a barracuda and almost died from the bends. I should have dove down 600 feet straight down and then kill up as fast as I could.
Elvis, you're going against every rule and regulation of diving.
I don't care.
Ogre. I gotta find the Spanish treasure.
I gotta find me some doubloons to pay off my fucking hospital bill.
Elvis, your bank account's in the fucking red.
Oh.
I'm gonna lose it all. I'm gonna lose it all.
I gotta take up gambling. Like in his mind, it's like the only way he can recoup the losses and get back to his regular, like, monetary status.
Takes out a bank loan so he can go gamble with it.
Elvis, what the fuck's the matter with you?
Listen, it's gambling. I can
play the casino. I can play the casino. I can win.
I'm gonna mark deck of cards. They'll never know what hit them. I was like, listen, I can win over 500%, but I can only lose 100%. You do the math. And he just, like, what does he do? He immediately goes to a fucking roulette table. He's like, I'm all in.
He's all in immediately.
I'm going all in on black. And it just lands, like, on fucking, of course, everything else. He just, like, watches mouth drop as the fucking dealer takes, like, the stack of chips away from him. Oh.
I'm ruined.
Oh.
I'm ruined.
I'm fucked. It's like, what does he do? He's gonna go back to Graceland. It's like comically completely gone. With like some realtor like hammering in like a just sold sign.
They even like leave the building there for like a tourist attraction. They just demolished everything overnight.
It's like not even that. Like they completely removed the entire building, the fence, like all the surrounding landscape. They filled it with concrete, like it was a fucking radioactive disposal dump. A beautiful Graceland.
Elvis, you still gotta pay that alimony.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna kill myself.
You know, as if he's gotta like tell other people. It's never stopped him. You know, in the way he's saying it, to make it imply it's gonna like jump. Where is he? It's like the highest spot he can like kill himself, where he's gotta like tell the public
at the
that he's gonna
top of
do
Burj Khalifa.
Lost all his money but could pay for a trip to Dubai. I hid in the fucking landing gearbox of the plane. He's completely disheveled.
It's amazing that he like survived that trip. How the fuck did he do that?
Hung on for dear life.
He didn't
345
freeze
miles
to
an
death.
hour.
He didn't asphyxiate. He completely survived the trip in the landing gear.
I brought my lighter, kept me warm. And then like he goes up. He somehow like they let him up the like the maintenance like doors or whatever that requires you to get outside to the top of the Burj Khalifa.
Like, oh, Mr. Presley, it's a great honor to have you visit.
Shut up! Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up! He like grabs the two nearest people's heads and clonks them together. He starts swinging. He's like, "Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up! I'm gonna kill myself."
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Someone fucking hit me! And he tries to like dive in the people's cars, but they all break. Finally, he sees the Burj Khalifa. He's like, barges in, goes up the elevator, like gets to the top. And like Gray's like looking down from like however high that is. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Oh god. It's so high up, it's actually like swaying a little bit.
I think I'm having second thoughts. I don't think I'm gonna do it. Like a big gust of wind, like blows the towers, like he like loses his footing.
I think he's gonna be like, I'm second thoughts. I don't want to do it. I'm not gonna kill myself. And then he just jumps. He swan dives. Or even better, he completely like locks up, hands to his side, feet together, and he goes head first, spinning. Getting faster and faster. I don't know what like terminal velocity head first would do to Elvis Presley.
Probably the same thing it'd do to any other human.
Yeah, but you gotta remember like what he survived so far.
Although I do think the force of his body compressing when his head hits and like the rest of his body like still moving towards the earth, I think that would be enough pressure to like launch the fucking gray goo out of his asshole.
Gentlemen, we have a world-class emergency. The gray goo has left the king's sphincter. Like, what does Nixon do?
United Arab Emirates have about 30 minutes left to exist. We need a task force pronto.
It's a task force. Like, he knows that like the UAE is gonna be gone in 30 minutes, but thinks he could do something about this.
He has to try.
I feel like he would be up in like Air Force One perpetually, as if like a nuke had gone off, just to make sure he doesn't come into contact with the goo. Like, that's where you'd have to be given the orders from. Like, we need a full nuclear bombardment of the Middle East. At the Elvis Ground Zero. The mass, like where it started, there's just a massive crater with like the silhouette of Elvis's dead body in the center of it. That's like grown into like a fucking Skynet headquarters. Give me some good news, Anderson. Can we defeat this thing? No, Mr. President. My God. He opens up the fucking plane hatch door like, I'm gonna do it! I'm gonna kill myself!
This is like opening the hatch that high up wouldn't like cause an immediate depressurization that sucks him out the moment he opens it.
I'm gonna do...
That just made me have a thought, though.
About what?
Not change subject too much here, but you know how, like, you know, the UN has a set of things that they'll do if first contact is ever made, or if we ever discover, you know, any like intelligent alien life. Do you think they have a list of procedure in case fucking like gray goo ever shows up on the surface of Earth?
Probably like grab their ankles and kiss their asses goodbye. Like, I'm pretty sure the whole point of that scenario is that there's nothing you could do. Like gray goo, like that's like the whole thing is like it feeds on carbon and then self-replicates, right? Like that's the whole deal.
Yeah.
There's nothing you could do. It's like, what are you gonna do? Fucking like build a Pacific Rim wall around it? Like try to encase it in something? Like it's just gonna like dissolve it. You'd have to... The only thing I can think of doing, which would be impossible, because like you'd have to be like somehow prepared and know exactly where it's gonna start. This is something they should have done in this hypothetical, like, Elvis scenario. They should have put him on a fucking spaceship and launched him, like, as far out as, like, the Voyager 1. Just got him out of the solar system. Like, on a trajectory, like, far away from Earth as possible. Like, that's the only way you can stop it, is, like, by either, like, you'd have to preemptively get it off of Earth. Other than that, there's nothing you can do. Like, it's like the flood, where you actually have a chance to, like, glass Africa. Like, once this starts, there's no going back.
Some say that deep beneath the streets of Dubai, Elvis
Former
is still
Dubai.
alive there.
That his consciousness is kept alive artificially by the Grey Goo mass, which has
Like absorbed his DNA and it's like
Yeah,
keeping his personality around.
as an unintended side effect of being like the host. The Grey Goo has adopted an Elvis persona as it like treks across the galaxy.
But great, it's not like real Elvis who is like a decent person. It's like Elvis that's ready to kill
Elvis.
himself at a moment's notice. Like extremely emotionally unstable Elvis.
To be perfectly fair, though, this Elvis, like, can you blame him for wanting to kill himself in any of the scenarios we like proved? This all started because like his life was ruined by a fucking razor blade. Like, he was in so much pain, thought he was gonna choke at his own blood. He decided to kill himself.
Wasn't that scenario also that there was like an ambulance waiting for him? Like, maybe all of the ones that came after were somewhat justified, but that first one...
Well, he didn't know the ambulance was there. Like, this Elvis was completely normal until these unnatural things began happening to him.
Was he normal, though? He was trying to eat a fucking jelly munchkin off of the floor of, like, a dirty-ass pus.
Okay, but this is also the same guy who, like, ate squirrels and, like, disgusting roadkill as a kid, so it's, like, not beneath him. You tell Elvis is a jelly donut on the floor, he's gonna fucking eat it. Especially if there's no press around to, like, prove that he did it.
I guess a Grey Goo would be the ultimate evolution of Elvis in this situation, though. He's just
from, like, the
perfect
eating aspect.
machine.
Except that's, like, all he was. They completely throw his, like, singing and dancing and acting career out the window. He's just a fat fuck, first and foremost. I got Grey Goo in my colon. I got Grey Goo in my colon. I'm gonna jump. They're gonna launch me to Mars. They're gonna launch me to Mars.
I'm gonna come back.
I'm gonna come back and make you rue the day if you fucked with the king.
I'm gonna destroy the planet.
It's like already infiltrated his brain. It's like the cordyceps. It's like taken over him. I'm gonna come back for humanity. I'm gonna eat every last one. You are gonna simulate into the king. First things first. Is I'm gonna step out of my spaceship. You see him like swinging wildly in absolute silence. as like the camera expertly pans in on his tongue, like what's left of his tongue is it's like boiling. You see like a bunch of like moisture droplets just being like vacuum sucked out of every orifice. He just finally goes limp as he's spinning very fast.
He said it was like cordyceps. I just immediately imagined Elvis with pulsating,
Eating, like,
glowing
eyes.
eyes.
Like walking around this fucking like Memphis.
Seen any birds around here lately?
fucking dumbest thing I've heard all year.
Like, Elvis, what are you doing up there in that tree?
Elvis, those birds are getting really close to your face. I don't care. I don't care.
I gotta continue the circle of life. Like, you know, like, looking back, it almost makes sense from like the gray goo angle that like they were controlling him and trying to compel him to kill himself.
So like he would release his bowels.
Yeah, like it's like those fucking like disgusting worm parasites. They get into like crickets and like grasshoppers and shit.
And try to get them to the water.
Yes, they'll die and like shit it out. Oh my god. That's just like an actual like cordyceps and a snail brain. Say the birds. That, I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but that is the thumbnail. I don't care what happens in the rest of this. And with those giant snail eyes. You think I look like a real bird feed right about now? Think I look appetizing?
Elvis, what the fuck are you talking about?
Where it's like that other actually it has like the life cycle even go, like don't they, isn't it like oh, okay, I'm thinking about the ant one, right? They go up to like a blade of grass and like have a cow eat them. But I think it's obviously gonna be funnier and more in line with our humor if it ends with like him being eaten by a bird.
Would he even get eaten by the bird? Wouldn't the bird just like show up and like peck out his fucking eyes to like eat the worm?
I guess so. Eats at his eyes. So now he's like out of like almost all senses now.
All he can do is hear and feel. But I mean, would he even
With
still
one
be
hand.
alive? Didn't this fucking worm like take over his brain? Once the worm's eaten, like, wouldn't he die?
I guess compared to the size of like a snail brain, like it really didn't get to eat enough. Like before, like the process went through. Like Elvis was so fucking efficient with this bird eating thing. The parasite was like eaten out of him before it was able to like do fatal damage to him.
This amazing battle between biology and machine happening in Elvis's body as the cordyceps and gray goo like fight for control.
Is this like The Last of Us as cordyceps virus that can attack humans? Didn't even kill him. And then, like, great, like, what's gonna fucking happen then? Like, the bird's gonna eat it, and then, like, what, the bird's gonna shit, and, like, some, like, the next human that walks by and, like, licks up the shit's gonna get it? Like, that's a great system. I was, like, looking down. Well, actually, no, he's not looking down anymore. Like, what is he doing?
Everything's dark. Everything's dark. I can't see.
He's gonna start, you know, I just realized, I was gonna say he's gonna start clicking with his tongue like a bat for like echolocation, but he can't even do that. Like, his only way of like progressing in society without a handler is he gotta slap his belly and like use that as echolocation.
Carry around a bunch of like pots and pans, like slam them together. You know, you say he can't click his tongue for echolocation, but he's been talking this whole time pretty damn well without a tongue.
Well, he's got the isopod.
Wouldn't like the hard shell of the exoskeleton make better clicks than a fleshy tongue?
I don't like to bother him.
He starts to wiggle around violently and it hurts real bad. I let him do his thing. That's like another parasite that he has. He's a fucking like walking petri dish.
He's looking like a triple dipper. And if I touch him too much, it cuts off blood flow to my mouth. That is awful. Like two formerly like non-human parasites that have now found homes in Elvis. On top of like the human like race-ending Grey Goo,
this intergalactic fucking threat
that by all accounts should have taken over Earth by now, but Elvis is just such an anomaly on his own that he's stalled it for progressing. Like, I don't know what's gonna be left of Elvis after all of this.
Oh, hustle the man.
He's gonna be a limbless bean hopping around. He's not gonna be able to see, hear, taste, smell, or touch. It's like still allowed to like live. Like no one has the balls to put him down.
Trying to think of how he's gonna lose his hearing after all this, and the only thing I can imagine is that just as he starts to learn his echolocation, someone just walks up to him and like slaps both of his ears open-handed.
Oh, oh! It's like both his eardrums shatter.
Oh,
you know.
Oh.
Can you imagine, like, the woman who taught Helen Keller having to teach Elvis how to live, like, in that state? He's, like, worse than Helen Keller.
Like, at this point, Elvis would be put into, like, quarantine. He'd be protected by the government. He'd be living in a fucking bubble.
I still don't know why they're not just, like, sending him to space.
He's got the Grey Goo, which is a world threat, a worldwide threat. The isopod is like whatever, but
like, whatever.
He's also got human infecting cordyceps in him. Like two very big problems with his body right now that could end the world as we know it.
Like, you know, the few people he walked next to, like in fucking Tennessee, like seen any birds lately? They just like didn't say anything. It's like nobody knows. Like that bird shit is gonna like get washed into the fucking sewers like next rainfall. It's gonna end up in like the water supply.
And it's gonna get into someone's well.
What has he done? That's just the idea. You know, like the idea that he got the isopod in his mouth is like needs to be explored because that is like really retarded. Because like if he was diving, he would have had a fucking tube in his mouth to breathe. So that would imply that at some point he decided to take it out and then leave his mouth open while this very visible creature swam into it. And then he doesn't do anything as he feels it attached to his tongue stem.
Maybe he thought it would give him the ability to taste back or something.
You know,
I mean, he didn't have a tongue anyway, so...
That's something I've always wondered, because I swear this is fucking misinformation. Anytime you look up, like, the tongue-eating louse, it says that it severs the fish's tongue, and then it acts as the fish's tongue, completely, like, replacing the organ. And I'm thinking, so, does it act, like, with the nerve endings? Can the fish, like, feel? Can it taste? And I'm thinking, that's gotta be bullshit. That's, like, not possible.
I don't think it can taste. It's probably just that in terms of the mechanical motion of the tongue, it replaces that, so it, like, moves food around in the mouth.
But does it really? It's like eating the food. That like triple sucks for Elvis because now he's like eating less. Well, granted, I don't know like how well this isopod's faring eating like Elvis's diet. I think it'd be more fucked if it was like a dead parasite rotting in his mouth. Because like
It's
after the
getting worse
first
for him.
after like the first Big Mac, this thing just died.
It's fucking sensory overload. It couldn't handle it.
Like he chugged like a 2-liter of Coke and the thing just disintegrated. I like to gargle the Coke in my mouth for 8 hours before I swallow it.
It's like the first thing he did when he got back to the boat. No, all that swimming really took it out of me. And pass me that Coke. Pass me that 8-liter bottle of Coke.
8 liters?
I'm gonna drink the whole thing.
Pass me that big gulp of Coke. Oh, I'm getting the bends.
Just what the doctor ordered.
More Coca-Cola. Man, I don't know. I don't think anything could like beat that cordyceps thing. That was like way too stupid for its own good. Like at a loss. I don't even like want to like progress the Elvis thing anymore because I feel like I'd like taint it.
Well, in that case, I do have something else that I wanted to bring up.
Oh, I might as well do it now.
So, I know you're still on Windows 10, right?
Yes.
I still am as well. Do you get the notifications for upgrading to Windows 11?
I do not.
Really?
I do not.
Consider yourself fucking lucky, because these things are getting so fucking egregious and aggressive. It's like pissing me off how often it is. It used to be like once a week. It would, when I started my computer, it would say like, "Oh, like free upgrade to Windows 11," and I would just hit like "not now," and it would just take that as an answer and go away. But now it shows up like every single fucking time I start my computer in the morning. It pops up. The not now button is like grayed out and like tucked away in the corner, so it's harder to see, while like the fucking install button is huge and like bright, so it wants you to click on it. You hit not now and it takes you to a second page like Windows 11 is so much better, and then it pulls the same shit where there's another like download now while I wait button that's fucking glowing and shit, and the not now button is tucked away, like hidden. Click not now again, finally get to fucking start my computer, and then just throughout the rest of the day it's just constantly popping up as a notification in the notifications bar, just like, oh, like free install to Windows 11, just over and over again. It's so fucking annoying.
Have you ever even like seen Windows 11?
No.
It sucks.
I heard it looks a lot like Windows 10, but slightly different. I just don't care.
It's like if you mix like a Mac OS with Windows 10.
That sounds fucking awful.
I mean, you've seen like a Mac like desktop.
Yeah, I really don't like the Mac OS.
Yeah,
like
it's
the
got,
way
like,
it looks.
Like that stupid taskbar at the bottom, like everything's like in the center. That's exactly what Windows 11 looked like last time I ever saw it.
It's fucking awful.
Yeah.
And Bill Gates, he doesn't pay for his fucking crimes of constantly reminding me to fucking install. I'm not gonna do it.
I'm sure you could find some kind of like plug-in that'll just like put the message away forever.
Probably
you gotta
just
do.
like that though.
I mean, it's the same shit like when Windows 10 came around, and like every desktop had that big fucking message at the bottom right, like upgrade now. I remember that was like a whole like scandal because everyone was complaining about the fucking message. I don't even know why you'd want to upgrade to Windows 11 because like Windows 8 was like universally panned. Everyone hated it. So there was kind of like an incentive to upgrade. But Windows 10 is kind of like, it's like perfectly serviceable. I don't know why you'd want to like go to 11. Just more bullshit. And of course, like, shame on the fucking scumbag engineers and shit that, have to make new OSs for, like, zero reason.
There's literally no reason for it. I guess I could kind of see why there's Windows 7 to Windows 10.
Yes.
But, like, I don't see any purpose to Windows 11 at all.
Yeah, if you want to add new features, make your fucking OS, like, modular. Why would you want to change the entire look of everything so, like, you can't get familiar with it very quickly? Like, that's just a major fucking hurdle for, like, businesses that, are thinking about upgrading, because now you gotta, like, get familiar with Windows 11 and all the stupid little nuances. Like, oh, this program I use doesn't work with it anymore. And that's why almost every government still uses, like, the oldest ass shit imaginable. It's just not worth it. It's awful. Makes me want to fucking eat a razor blade jelly donut just thinking about it.
Makes me want to put my gun right up to my chin.
Makes me want to just bend over and just take a load from the horny horse.
I want to hear any more about the horny horse.
I don't care. I don't care. That's one of the 5 horsemen.
5 horses? It's not even a horse. It's not even a person riding it.
I figured it's like a horseman, but not a centaur.
What does that mean?
Instead of it being like a human body pasted where like a horse neck is, the horse's head is like molded into the shape of a human head. And
so it's just like an entire horse body, horse neck, and then a human head on top.
Yes, but the human head is slightly stretched out to like just kind of meet the proportions of a horse. Oh. And the only other difference is that it is a human penis, but horse-sized.
Horny horse.
That's the horny horse. It's like the last thing you'd ever want to see. It's like stronger than you, can run faster than you. It's hornier than you.
The only counter is the coffee horse.
That's true.
He's been missing in action for several decades now.
Pretty horse. I don't care. I don't care. To get my money back doing a snuff film, fucking the horny horse.
Elvis, you better take that horny horse cock up your ass right now. We ain't getting paid any money.
It's too big.
It's too big. I'm going to the shock. I'm going to the shock. Oh.
Someone see his butthole. It's coming out.
Wouldn't that kill the horny horse though too? Because once it like penetrates him, its cock is gonna be exposed to the gray goo directly. It's gonna immediately start eating him.
Horse doesn't care either. In a way, the horse and Elvis are kind of like kindred spirits. Oh, man.
It's like a sense I never thought I'd hear my entire life.
I feel like the bird thing. Like just that mental image. His eyes pulsating left and right. I'm seeing any horses around here. He's like naked from the waist down. Is there any horses around here?
Seen the horny horse lately? The king's got an appointment with a horny horse.
Elvis, stop getting your ass free. We're trying to record a song here.
I don't care. I don't care. Look out! The horny horse is gonna come. Oh. Elvis got horse AIDS, then died. How long do you think a human would survive with horse AIDS?
I don't even know where to fucking start.
Let's see. Untreated, AIDS. About 8 to 10 years. Actually, without treatment, survival rate for someone with AIDS is 3 years. Okay, that was HIV. Okay, so someone with AIDS is 3 years without treatment.
The implication that, like, the horny horse has AIDS would mean that, like, the horny horse has been, like, going out of its way to fuck AIDS-positive patients without protection.
And this is this is particular horse AIDS.
Did it enough that AIDS transferred from human to horse.
This horse is dying just like Elvis.
Isn't it a fucking horseman?
Well, it's a horseman.
He said it was one of the 5 horsemen.
Well,
implicate it's like somewhat like divine in its abilities.
Well, I kind of failed to enunciate correctly. It's one of the 5 horsemen.
So who are the others? Is horny horse, coffee horse, and the 3
Charlie
unknowns.
horse.
What?
The Charlie horse. And then like rocking horse. I don't know what the last one would be.
The unknown 5th horse. All record of him wiped from history because he was that bad.
Imagine like meeting the Charlie horse, or the thing just like convulsing in utter pain. Something wrong with all of them, and they're all horsemen. They're not horsemen. When those things arrive, I think like it's honestly proof that your society is like more fucked than had the actual 4 horsemen show up in person. Oh yeah, and then the headless horseman. He's just dead.
Yeah. So there's 6 of them. Unless that is the unnamed 5th one.
It's the unnamed one, because it wasn't always headless. There's foul play. Alright, I'm really gonna have to like unwind after all this.
Call it there.
Let's call it there.